Travis Kelce is on his Eras tour. Oh! Oh! Goes there. Too many Eras for Travis Kelce. Oh!
He's on his end of an Eras tour.
Well, there went all our Swiftie viewers. Thanks, Tim.
We'll get them
You
back.
just angered the Swifties.
We'll get them back.
You don't
They
wanna
can
do
shake it
that.
off.
They're going to shake it off. They're coming back.
Matt, no.
We're getting back together. We'll be getting back together. Welcome to Off Topic with Tim and Matt and Bill, our scrappy Here We Go podcast where we always go off topic. All right, NFL. Before we get started, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you. And we're going to do a talk NFL. Last week, what's going on right now, and MLS. There's some big Whitecap news coming up. Our man Bill likes the Sounders, so we're going to hear from him. Okay, so the big news last week was Shedeur Sanders winning one game against a crappy Raiders team, and he's about to get scored on by San Francisco now. What stands out for you, Bill? Tell us.
Well, look, he probably had the best game of any Cleveland Brown quarterback this year.
You were right.
Let's not set the bar too high.
Look, I think Myles Garrett summed it up best. If you haven't seen this meme, go look it up. But when Shedeur Sanders threw that like 60-yard touchdown pass, which was a heck of a play,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett looked like a kid at Christmas morning that just got his dream present from Santa. He was just like, and I think Shedeur Sanders will be a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he'll be a great one, but he'll be a good one. I don't think you should lose your job over an injury. So I think Dylan Gabriel will have to come back.
Yeah.
But the Cleveland Browns are a terrible football team.
Oh, of course they are.
On offense.
Yeah.
On defense, they're good on defense. On offense, they're terrible. And he did a good job.
Yeah.
So that's my take. Bully for him for stepping up and playing a decent game. We'll see how he plays today.
Well, my thoughts here is Shedeur Sanders has told us all how great he's going to be. He said it out loud, and I think instead of people going, "I admire your moxie," they're like, "We can't wait to see you fail and prove you wrong." I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should be encouraging these guys to be positive about themselves and their abilities, to go out there and say, "I'm going to do that," and then go do it. And he said he was going to do exactly what he did last weekend. Bad Raiders team, they're still NFL players. You still got Max Crosby running at you. He went out there. He said Max
Crosby has ill intentions.
Yes.
That's not good.
But he said, when I get my opportunity, I'm going to shine. And everybody said, "Oh, that's really cocky of you. I hope you fail." No, I want to see him shine. And I think he did shine. That throw was epic. That was a beautiful throw. I mean, he was rolling out, and he doesn't stand in the pocket too well. He doesn't run too well. He rolls out and throws well.
Yeah.
And he did that. So he's going to play to his strengths. Like I said earlier, 11 players on the field in front of, or 10 other players on the field with him. They all got to do their job. The O-line wasn't a lot, but they did enough that he had success.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today they go up against the 49ers. They just scored. 49ers are up 7-0. Let's see how he does the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But what he did last week gave him the opportunity to get an extended look by the Browns.
So,
yeah.
And it's like you said, the Browns, when it comes to quarterbacks, it's the Vortex. They're worse than Chicago. It's just terrible. So,
the Browns are absolutely another level bad. again, just a quick reminder: 42 starting quarterbacks since 1999, when the Cleveland Browns, this iteration of the Cleveland Browns started.
Yeah.
Nobody holds a candle to that.
How do you think half? There's a team that has half as many in that time period. It's crazy.
I mean, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. They do the same thing with their offense over and over again, and they never learn. And it can't be that hard to figure out we're doing something wrong. Hey, let's try and fix it. Who can come in and fix this? It's just it's like the Jets. They're just chronically terrible. And they're still talking about Joe Namath.
Apparently it is hard because they haven't figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to who else is playing today, because there's some big games to say. There's some playoff implication games today. Jaguars, Titans. Jags need a win here. They want to stay in the race. Texans as well. They're playing the Colts. And my Chargers are playing the aforementioned Raiders today. And let's remember, when the Raiders were really horrible, the Chargers let them drop 62 on them. So I'm not feeling really confident in this horrible Raiders team rolling over for us. Bill Steelers.
The Raiders are not going to drop 62 on the Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little confidence there, Matt.
Yeah.
But I mean, my bigger picture is this: is there anybody in the AFC that can win the Super Bowl? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I mean, the Patriots are the best shot, and Drake May's having a hell of a season. They're playing together as a team. Like, there's a lot to like about them. They're not going to beat the Rams.
No playoff experience.
They may not even be able to beat the Bears. The Bears are good.
But the problem with the Patriots, we were talking about this yesterday on our drive, no playoff experience.
Right.
There's literally no one on that team besides Stephon Diggs, who was with Buffalo and lost, right? That has any playoff experience. Vrabel has playoff experience, right? But he's not playing. He's coaching. It's going to be the leaders on the field.
Don't tempt him. He's still one of those guys who's like, you know what? I could suit myself up and get a few titles.
And we got Bill Steelers coming in this afternoon. And, of course, the Bills' problem is, hey, let's make Josh Allen do everything, and, hey, we'll win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen doing everything. Hey, look, Josh Allen's doing everything, and he's got no one to play with. Yeah. I mean, their backfield isn't terrible, but they have no wide receivers. Keon Coleman is 17 years old and needs to be reminded that he's actually in his 20s. And there's no one for him to throw to. And it's just like, what are you going to do? You're going to kill this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, they're playing the Steelers, who are falling apart because Aaron Rodgers was hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and who thought that Aaron Rodgers would be the glue that held that team together? You know, so.
Not me.
Yeah. But, you know, so when you look at the AFC, you got the Colts there, but they're starting to show that they're cracks in their armor.
Yeah, they're wobbling.
New England and Buffalo. Baltimore's starting to figure it out again. But even the game that I saw on Thursday night was horrible.
They got hammered by Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
never should have lost that game.
Let's be honest.
By the way, Joe Burrow's good.
Yeah. But Evan McPherson was the star of that show. What he had like 5 field goals? Come on.
He had a lot.
You know, Denver is 9-2. But I don't think I'm still waiting for that bubble to burst, because I don't think they're that good.
Eyes every time, like, really?
Yeah. and you go and you look at who they beat, and you're like, well, you lost to the Colts, you lost to the Chargers, you beat the Titans and the Bengals with no Joe Burrow, Eagles when they were having their midlife crisis, the Jets, the Giants, but the Cowboys, who look legit, you laid the boots to 44-24. Scraped by the Texans, And then the Raiders 10-7. Like the Jekyll and Hyde team that's just coming out on top when they're having games of ineptitude. So beating the Chiefs last week or 2 weeks ago, 22-19, they're like, wow, Denver's legit. They beat the Chiefs. But then the Chiefs go in and just lay an egg on Thanksgiving. You know, like it was, yeah.
It's what's exciting
Like
about
I said,
the NFL.
I'll say it again. Is there anybody in the AFC that can win the Super Bowl? Right now, I'm not convinced it's going to be even close.
Yeah.
I mean, anything happens in the playoffs, let's be honest, right? And what's exciting about right now is that Philadelphia is banged up and the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs anymore.
Yeah.
So we could have a new champion. And it makes it kind of exciting because you're not going to see the same old script we saw last year.
Yeah.
Buffalo losing to the
Right.
Chiefs in the dying seconds and going on to, the Super Bowl and probably winning it or maybe not if they blow against Philly, and Philly's not there anymore. So it just opens it up to a new champion and a new playoff matchups. And let's just enjoy that instead of,
Well, and let's talk about
Ironically, the Bills have a better path to the Super Bowl than they've had in a while because the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs.
yeah. Oh, that's
Thought they
100%.
might have been the Chiefs. Then they've proven that they're not the Chiefs.
yeah.
And then yet, Josh Allen is like star-crossed. He reminds me of Jim Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Same uniform.
he's got to lose at least one Super Bowl before you call him Jim Kelly. He needs to lose
That's fair.
one loss in the Super Bowl before he's Jim Kelly.
He needs somebody to go wide right at least once in the Super Bowl.
Scott, no good.
But then you bring up the Bears.
The Bears.
And I like talking about this because I like the Bears, right? I think Caleb Williams has got a rough go of it because people are attacking his character and not his play. They've really kind of brought things together to support his skill set this year.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing quite well. I mean, I make the jokes about the painted nails as much as anybody else does, but that's really just poking at his character, not his play. The team's playing well. The defense is playing well. The receivers are doing good. But once again, they're a team that when you really look at it, they lost to the Vikings week 1, Lions week 2. Then they went on a tear, beat the Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders, and Saints. Okay? One of those teams has a winning record. And they weren't winning at that time. Right?
Yeah.
So then they lose to the Ravens. And they come back and they beat the Bengals, the Giants, the Vikings again, the Steelers, and then the Eagles. Right? And it's just like they look good, but who have you beaten? Nobody. They got Packers twice, who are going to be trouble for them. The Browns, which is a freebie. And then the 49ers and the Lions. So I can see their next 5 games, them being 1-4. But that's still going to get them a playoff spot.
Which, if you're in Chicago, you'll take it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's as good as the Bears have been in a while.
Yeah.
The Eagles really puzzle me because I don't think that they're that injured. Like, when you look at the IR, it's not like they're missing. It's not like Jalen Hurts is down or AJ Brown is down, right? I mean, they've got a lot of their tools, and yet they just get into these cycles where they just can't score, and I don't get it. I'm not
Jalen Hurts has got Dakitis, as like I call it. Dak Prescott came in and he was a good quarterback. He was enthusiastic. He played really well. Mm-hmm. Everybody talked about how great he was. It went to his head, and he was an absolute shit show for season after season for a while. He had to regroup, and this year he's really come back as the original Dak. He's not tooting his own horn, patting himself on the back. Jalen Hurts was really good, and everybody blew sunshine up his ass. And then it's gone to his head. And he's like, AJ Brown's like, hey, we're losing. I need the ball. Get me the ball. Get me the ball. And Hurts is like, well, we don't need that kind of attitude around here. I can do this myself. You can't. You got to have a team, you know. And that's where Dak got to, because who did they chase out of there? Amari Cooper, because Cooper was saying the same thing. Dak realized that this year with CD, when CD was saying, "Hey, if we got to win, I got to get the ball. You got to look at me a few more times." Dak was like, "You're right," and he started doing it, and they started winning. Right? So Hurts has got to get out of his own head that he is the Philadelphia Eagles and realize that there's 11 other guys on the field or 10 other guys on the field that are making this happen. He doesn't push his own tush.
Yeah.
So he's got to he's got to get out of his own
But
head.
he also had Saquon Barkley. And to be fair to Jalen Hurts, he got the detractors off his back when he won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe they're hit their own peak and they're sort of easing off, and all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This isn't our team. You know, this isn't how we do things in Philly. They have a chance to come back next season or salvage something this season.
Yeah.
It's not over for them. But Dak Prescott is done.
8-4, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they're certainly not done.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are done.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully.
You put a fork in them. Barkley, I think last year he left New York and he wanted to prove he wasn't the problem in New York. This year he kind of looks like he's playing like he doesn't want to get hurt. Right? And there's a big difference in he ran last year like he hated the ground.
Yeah.
This year he's running like, you know, he wants to protect his season. So I don't know what's going on with him. But yeah, there's a night and day difference between them. The Chiefs. I've said this last year and everybody poo-pooed it and I was a bit wrong, but the Chiefs are tired.
Yeah.
They have played 2 more seasons in the last 5 years.
They're not getting
everybody
any
else.
younger.
Yeah. Chris Jones is on his swan song. Travis Kelce's on his farewell tour. You know, like there's older guys there that aren't bouncing back. When the convict is your biggest, you know, light on your offense, it's tough. Pat Mahomes' magic isn't happening because they're all relying on it now. It happened naturally before. Now it's looking forced.
Yeah.
So they've got to go back to the drawing
like
board.
Play 4 in the playbook. Matt does, you know, magic and we win, right? That's
Exactly.
how to play.
Travis Kelce is on his Eras tour. Oh!
End
Goes there. Too many Eras for Travis Kelce. Oh!
He's on his end of an Eras tour.
Well, there went all our Swiftie viewers. Thanks, Tim.
We'll get them
You
back.
just angered the Swifties.
We'll get them back.
You don't
They
wanna
can
do
shake it
that.
off.
They're going to shake it off. They're coming back.
Oh, Matt, no.
We're getting back together. We'll be getting back together.
Oh.
That's literally both Taylor Swift songs that I can actually name.
Coming at you from the hot corner of the round room, it's Tim Amy.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, though. The Super Bowl is going to go through L.A. The Rams are just too good, and they just keep showing it over and over. Matt Stafford's playing like he wants to go out on top.
Oh, I watched that Tampa Bay game. It was just a joke. Tampa wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
He just schooled Baker Mayfield. Like you think you're having an MVP season, Baker Mayfield? Sit down and watch. Hold my beer. Here we go. He just absolutely lit them up. It was superb. I hadn't really watched the game, and you mentioned it in our last segment, NFL segment.
Yeah.
That it's going through the Rams, and then they showed up. Was it the Sunday night or the Monday night game? I was whoa, they are good. But anything can happen in the playoffs, right? Lucky bounce.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But what shocks me is when you talk about MVP conversation and you're not putting Matt Stafford's name at the top, right? Like,
I think everybody is, though. Who else is there?
Well, they're talking Darnold in Seattle.
Baker Mayfield's
I've got a
name was
Seahawks
coming up.
jersey on, and I'm telling you, Darnold's not an
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, Josh Allen. They're talking Josh Allen too.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Legit, because he's doing it on his own.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean,
yeah, he's got a cape and an S on his shirt.
Matt Stafford's got to be right at the top.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, CMC in San Francisco,
Well, he's held that team together.
3/4 of their offense is CMC,
Yeah.
like 49ers. So, I mean, he's in the conversation. But, I mean, do you want an MVP or do you want one of these?
Oh,
You know
Stafford.
what I mean? So if Stafford gets one of these on a swan song and they give, Josh Allen or CMC the MVP, I can't see anybody caring.
Well, and
There you go. Here's a consolation prize.
Or he could get both.
here's what's going to happen, right? Clayton Kershaw retired a champion, right?
Barely.
Won the World Series.
Barely.
one or 100. Yeah, you only got to
got it
win by
right.
one. You only win 4 games. You can win them all by
11
one.
innings.
He won
Welcome
it.
back.
He won a World Series ring going out.
Oh, yeah.
His childhood best friend, right? Matt Stafford said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
He's going to go get the MVP, the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what he's working on.
Yeah.
He's going to show Kershaw on the way out the door. The two of them are going to head back to Texas, put their feet up, and watch their horses run. Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, just for the record, I don't like the Rams. I have a personal vendetta as a St. Louisan against the Rams and how badly they did it in my home,
Yeah.
especially Stan Kroenke. Not a fan.
Yeah.
That being said, the good news is that the Panthers are beating the Rams currently 14-7.
It's early.
Oh, are they really?
So maybe the Rams are clearly the best team in football in the NFL right now, no question. The Seahawks are good, but I don't know if they can beat the Rams. We'll see.
Yeah.
I like what the Seahawks did. They were wallowing in mediocrity, middling in the league, maybe making the playoffs, going nowhere, and they blew things up, brought in a proper quarterback, got the O-line, Gray Zabel, who I think is hurt. They did a lot of right things, and no, they're not going to beat the Rams.
Today.
Pardon me?
I think he's questionable today. I don't know if he's going to.
But
he might be playing.
Yeah, Gray Zabel, no Gray Zabel. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They went out, they got a quarterback, they drafted an O-line guy, they built the structure, the foundation of the house that everything else stands on, right? And everyone was talking about all these other teams winning the offseason. I'm like, why is no one talking about Seattle? Like, they got Sam Darnold. They drafted a beast on the left side. They did a lot of smart things, and it's paying off. And it's giving Seahawk fans, at the very least, something to cheer about and feel good about. They got a winning record. Maybe they get lucky in the playoffs. I don't know, but they're in the conversation, and good on them for doing it. Because you can just go back to Cleveland and New
Zabel
York.
is playing today.
Yeah,
for sure. So and Charles Cross, awesome tackle. So they're set on that left side finally, and then Abe Lucas, the right tackle is solid. They lost Sundell, their center, but this Oluwatani has played pretty well. So I mean, they're solid up front for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
and that helps, right? And JSN is the best wide receiver in football. Like he is one guy that you could say is a legit challenger to Stafford for the MVP.
okay.
Who's
Nice
that?
receiving cord.
JSN.
Yes.
Jackson Smith Jigba.
Yeah, you're 100% correct there. I'd have to agree with you there.
So there's a few people. Interesting, we brought up on our link drive ride down to the Huskies game yesterday how Carolina has really turned things around.
Yeah.
They went with Bryce Young all those years ago and went nowhere, and then they draft a wide receiver when they needed defense, and all of a sudden they're actually not that bad. And a few more drafts, like some key players, may tighten up their O-line a bit and get their secondary down. And, they're going to be a winning team. Like, they won some big games this year. They killed the Chargers. I mean, they've won some big games.
Carolina didn't kill the Chargers.
Was it Carolina that beat the Chargers?
No, Jacksonville.
Or Jacksonville. Sorry, my whatever.
But I mean, they play in a division that's not super. There's no dominant team in that division, right? You're playing against the Falcons, the Saints. Buccaneers have been winning that, but they're not They're not
Yeah.
winning 15 games a year. So, I mean, if you can get to a 10-win season, you're competing in the NFC South.
Okay, but let's not go crazy with Carolina. I mean, they beat the Falcons twice, the Dolphins, and the Jets. The only one with a winning record is the Cowboys that they've beaten,
Right.
and that makes them 6-6.
And
Well-
they didn't have a winning record when they beat them.
No.
I
Yeah.
But
remember
and,
that, right?
you know, they've been the perennial cellar dwellers.
Yep.
And
Yes.
compared to the Browns and compared to the Jets, they're actually digging their way out of the cellar slowly, methodically.
Yes.
But a few more,
Yes.
a few more components, not one or two, but like maybe several, and they're actually going to be built better than half decent.
Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree. I thought they
we'll see. We'll see how the Broncos play tonight. They should absolutely pummel the Commanders. If they do, then they're 10-2, right?
Yeah.
We rub our eyes, but they're 10-2. If they play down to the Commanders, they're the Broncos we expect.
Yeah.
But again, you've got a young quarterback. You got a team that was not in the conversation at all at the start of the season, and they brought in a pretty good winning attitude in training camp. Yeah, this team's going to compete for a Super Bowl, and people kind of laughed at them. And here they are, better than a lot of people thought they were. And again,
Sean Payton's a
Maybe
really
they're
good
not-
football coach.
very good coach, and maybe they're not going to win it this year, but you build something, right? You start with something.
Yeah.
It starts with one. So attitude is one. So once you get the attitude and once guys start buying into the system, they can start building. So maybe the Broncos don't take it this year and they look at themselves in the offseason going, yeah, the intensity wasn't there in a lot of those games, and maybe they show up with that next year. You got to grow.
If my math right, there are two teams in the NFL right now that are 9-2. One is the Rams, the other is the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to give it to them. Their record is what the record is, right? So you have to give it to them. That's the eye test. The sniff test, still not smelling it.
Yeah.
But again, they're building. So
Yeah, and I agree with Tim.
Yeah.
And I think they're building quite nicely. And Peyton is a great coach there that's going to get as much as he can out of each and every one of those players. So
Yeah.
I know we got to face them again. The first one, it came down to a last second field goal. It's going to be a battle. So we'll see what happens.
So yeah. So that's NFL. Now, in our part of the world, in British Columbia, our Whitecaps are going up against Inter Miami and Lionel Messi, David Beckham's team coming up. They beat San Diego 3-1, which in soccer parlance is like a 10-0 drubbing. Not quite Arsenal getting the hat trick, but
No.
we'll take it. You're a Sounders fan, so you probably know a little bit more
I
than
am.
we do. What's your take on the Whitecaps and how they're doing?
Well, the Whitecaps, won the Cascadia Cup this year, which is the competition between Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver.
Right.
Vancouver's had a hell of a year in the MLS. They're not going to beat Messi.
Yeah.
They're not.
That could get messy.
I see what you did there. Yeah. I think I'm not wrong, but I think Inter beat New York City FC like 5-1 in
Yes. Yeah.
their semi. And Inter has like 3 all-world players that are on their last game that are going to play. I think Busquets and a couple other players are announced they're going to retire after this game. They're going to go out on top.
Yeah.
And Vancouver will try to slow the game down a little bit, which is fine by Miami because they've got a bunch of guys that don't want to run around anyway. But you're just, Messi is still the best soccer player in the world at his age. Even. He can't do it for 90 minutes every 3 times a week like he used to be able to. But with rest, he's going to be.
Yeah.
I predict he scores at least twice.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he is pretty incredible.
It's
I like a good
unbelievable.
underdog story. Go Whitecaps.
I do too. I do too, Matt, and I'll root for the Whitecaps as an underdog as
the reality
Messi puts
is-
2 in the back of the old onion bag.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 2. I
But
don't know
it's
about 2,
great.
but I think Miami's going to take it.
Yeah. They're just too seasoned.
The MLS is better when Vancouver plays well.
Yeah.
It's just a historic franchise. I really like what the MLS has done. So they're going to change their schedule. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they are going to change when they play their season. And they're going to line up with the Premier League in England and most of the European leagues.
Okay.
They've been kind of opposite of them. And it makes what's called the transfer window not align. So there's now basically all the main soccer leagues in the world will have the ability to move players at the same time and not impact the league. And so it's a big switch for MLS because they didn't want to go against NFL football. And now they're going to a little bit more. But the league has grown to the point where they can hold their own. And this transfer window change will make more movement between, let's say, Man United and Vancouver possible. And so it'll be really interesting to see how this works out. But with the security of the deal that they have with Apple, the MLS has with Apple, and in the States to watch the games, right? Their broadcast rights. It's put enough financial stability in the league where they feel like they can compete with the NHL and the NFL, et cetera.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it'll be interesting next year.
I've noticed something among soccer fans that they tend to watch soccer and no other sport.
Yeah.
So you get with soccer, you get a designated fan base, and if they can watch a Lionel Messi play, nothing else matters. And of course Messi's in a swan song; he's not going to be there very long. But you have that thick core audience at every single game. And the smart thing MLS did is a lot of their stadiums aren't very big, so it doesn't take a lot to fill these things. You look at a lot of minor hockey. You have to have 6,500 seats for a WHL franchise, and you're maybe getting 2,500 fans. It just sucks going to a game. But with MLS, they kept it small, like a lot of the CFL, and they built the new stadiums. And so you're filling your houses, so there's always too few tickets, and it's a smart marketing move on their part, and they're not, biting off more than they can chew. So they're marketing it really well.
Yeah, it's Seattle and Vancouver play in some of the bigger stadiums for MLS, right?
Yeah.
BC Place holds what, 45 or 50,000?
60.
60. Okay, so
yeah, it's huge.
They don't usually fill it for a Vancouver Whitecaps game, but they have.
Yeah.
And same thing, Seattle plays at Lumen Field, so they can. When I've been to matches where the upper bowl is full, when Seattle plays Portland sometimes, or when they played the Whitecaps in the past, right? But most of the stadiums that they built are within that 17 to 20,000 seat range.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
I've been to several of the newer MLS stadiums. The one in St. Louis is brilliant. It's so well designed. And they're actually talking here in Seattle about moving and building a stadium for the Sounders that would be one of these 17,000 seat stadiums.
Where would they put it?
Well, it's interesting. So the Sounders about 4 years ago bought some land south of Seattle near Federal Way, and they built their training complex and their headquarters down there.
Okay.
And the challenge is they've got the ground to build one down there.
Okay.
If they wanted to. But it's like, I'm trying to do my geography here. It's like putting the Whitecaps out near maybe past Burnaby.
Yeah.
All right. It's out of the urban core, and there's a lot of like rich traditions around a match in Seattle. There's the Marchstrom match through Pioneer Square. Lots of pubs in that downtown core that are really involved in the Sounders that they would lose if they moved. So it's not a done deal yet, but the MLS really wants teams in these smaller stadiums for that experience.
Yeah.
And they can sell them out,
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
I mean, at the beginning of your last statement there, you said, we're probably not aware about the schedule changes and stuff like that. We weren't even aware that they had playoffs and they were in them. So that's how much we are unaware about soccer. But the more I hear about it, the more interested I'm getting. In
it's
just
a fun time.
Yeah. So I think we may have to go to a soccer game next year. So.
Yeah, you guys can come down. We'll go with Sounders Whitecaps. When they come down here.
That sounds like a plan.
Or I can make the road trip up there. It's not that hard.
Barbecue turkey.
Deep fried turkey.
Deep fried turkey.
It's all 10 once.
Sounds good.
All right. I think we're going to wrap up. Comment, like, and subscribe. We want to hear from you, our listener. If you're a Swiftie, give me a few more song titles because I only know 2. Okay. Thank you for tuning in for Off Topic. Tim, Matt, Bill, where we always go. Off Topic.